Welcome to Factory Forward, the podcast dedicated to advancing manufacturing and propelling factories into the future. Today, we are thrilled to have Dr. Adil Dalal with us. In this episode, Dr. Dalal discusses the importance of lean principles in modern manufacturing and the challenges and opportunities of integrating lean with other methodologies like Agile and DevOps. Now meet your host, Zeeshan Zia.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Factory Forward. We are thrilled to have Dr. Adil Dalal, a globally esteemed C-suite leader and visionary. With over 20 years of experience, Dr. Dalal has significantly influenced cultural and organizational transformations across 25 industries on 5 continents. He is not only a distinguished keynote speaker, having delivered more than 100 talks globally, including prestigious stages like the House of Lords and the Saudi Quality Conference, but also an author renowned for his groundbreaking work on optimizing human potential through innovative leadership strategies such as Sensei leadership and iLean technology. Join us as we dive deep into the nexus of lean manufacturing and quality enhancement with Dr. Dalal, a true pioneer in his field. Welcome, Dr. Dalal.
Thank you, Zeeshan. Really a pleasure to be with you, and I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm a big fan of a lot of the material that you've written. I've been following your, obviously I've seen you speak at conferences myself, and really appreciate you taking the time. I'll dive straight into the questions because I just can't wait to ask you some of this.
Sure.
So, sir, given the shift towards automation and AI, how relevant do you believe traditional lean principles remain in modern manufacturing environments?
I think this is a very important question, Zeeshan, and I think a lot of people are asking this is, will lean and other quality tools which have got us to this, fourth industrial revolution, will that carry forward or will we drop it? And the easy answer is lean has such amazing principles. The foundation of lean is so solid. It talks about waste reduction. It talks about, really customer focus. It talks about some of the very important elements of humility, and talks about, really allowing people to do what they do the best, using tools like Pocoyo. So to throw that out, I don't see that ever happening. The shift towards automation needs to be a perfect marriage between lean, AI, and other tools which are much more advanced. So I don't see this, the modern manufacturing is going to evolve, but lean is going to be a solid and an essential part of that journey.
In your experience, is the push for rapid production compromising quality in industries that traditionally rely on lean principles?
Yes, it can. There is definitely a possibility where they think that lean stands for speed and they're not, using the quality principles. But if you really understand lean very well and you're applying true lean principles, lean and quality are tied together at the hip, right? Why did we have a Pocoyo? Why do you have some of the tools which could really improve your inspection? So the idea is not to reduce quality. The idea is to use the lean tools to improve quality to a whole different level. So, we know what happened with Toyota. I mean, Toyota is the ultimate in lean technology. Toyota production system is what lean is to us today, correct? But even they failed at one time, right? You know about the acceleration problems and some of the things that caused even deaths, fatalities happened because of that. I think what happened was they went away from the core principles of lean, and they have back to that. They're back to that center, which really brings industries, to understand that, yes, lean is a tool, and a tool can be used in the right way, or the wrong way. correct? A doctor has a scalpel in their hand. A good doctor knows how to use it well.
Yeah.
And someone who's not trained in it can harm the patient. So quality is integral to lean. It cannot be separated from it. And the speed and quality are, cannot you cannot compromise quality for the speed. It has to be together. So, you know, uh, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that, correct? I mean, you would too, and the things you are doing, Zeeshan, are actually really helping in that area because you're automating that quality, and that is so important.
I appreciate that. Dr. Dalal, sort of related, but a little bit broader. Can a company truly integrate lean methodologies within a foundational change? Well, without a foundational change in corporate culture? What are the biggest cultural obstacles that you have encountered in your career?
You know, again, just like quality is married to lean, I talk about the true lean. The true lean is about, there is a pseudo lean where people think lean is only about tools. Lean is truly a philosophy. And a lot of people, when they apply lean, Zeeshan, they are putting it, just think of a train, they put it as one of the bogies into the train. And when you do that, it becomes just another tool to be used and abused and thrown away when you don't need it. It becomes the flavor of the month. When that lean tool is used as the engine, that is where true change I've seen in my experience. I've worked with over 125 companies around, 20 different countries applying these tools and techniques. When the companies who have used it as the engine to drive change within the organization, that is where they are most successful. So to answer your question, yes, you can apply it, but that would be the wrong application. You're just applying pseudo lean. If you really want to go to a true lean level, you want that lean engine to drive your culture forward at every step of the way. The biggest cultural obstacle, as you very well know, and I don't think anyone would disagree, is the leadership resistance. If leaders are not ready for that journey, you're never going to get there. People will struggle, they will use it for some time, and then drop lean as soon as things get tough. So true leaders who really understand the power of lean want to make sure that we can actually put it as the change in culture. Uh, Fear of change is another thing. People do have a lot of fear, and fear can be false expectation appearing real. And good leaders will say that fear stands for face everything and rise. That is the right definition of
Yeah.
fear. So we need to use the positive part of it, correct? I think the other resistance I have is, people are only focused on the short term, and that is the wrong way to look at it. Lean is a journey; it's not a destination, correct? It is a mindset which happens in people. So when it is a mindset, it is a continuous process, correct? Even if you ask Toyota today, Zeeshan, are you guys lean? The answer will be, we are on the way, because they know there is no end to lean. As you know, today with AI and with other things, corporate culture will shift and lean has to move along with it. And they are going to be tied at the hip, one enhancing the other. And if you don't apply it correctly, then it will also be detrimental. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. That's a great answer. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
In your training workshops, I was going over some of the material that you have, and you often emphasize eco efficiency. How do you align lean principles with the growing demands for sustainability in manufacturing?
Mhm. Zishan, let's take a broader view. Let's take a step back, correct? Lean has been used as just a manufacturing tool. I just recently did a podcast for Lean in the Office.
Right.
So to me, Lean is much more than manufacturing an office. In my book, The 12 Pillars of Project Excellence, I talk about Lean as one of the fundamental powers of great leaders. Why do I consider a Lean to be a power of great leaders? Because today, with resources being limited, every leader has been asked to do more with less. Would you agree? Do you have unlimited budget?
No, no, nobody
No,
does.
we don't have unlimited resources either. Would you agree?
That's right. Absolutely.
So lean has to be that the principle of lean has to be in everything we do. So when the planetary resources are limited, excuse me, why waste them?
Mm.
Lean is an ideal tool to allow you to see how to really use your resources in the best possible way. For example, I did a, I've done multiple, I've done over 350 Kaizen events. And I also do eco events. Eco events could be where I've gone in and actually looked at and evaluated with my team. I was working at a French fry factory. We went through the whole factory, found areas where there was waste in energy from water, steam, electricity, and other means where things were not optimal.
Mm.
And within 1 week, we had a team of about 12 people. We went through the whole factory in about first day was training. So about 3 full days, we actually were able to go in and reduce the energy waste by $200,000, over $200,000 in
Right.
just 1 week.
Right.
We created the charts so that from there on they could track the usage, and we really plugged the holes.
Right.
Where by that Thursday evening, you could actually see the reduction in the energy waste there.
Right.
So this is practical. This is so important to think about it. This is about waste reduction. This is about looking at the lifestyle thinking overall. The best time to do it is when you design these processes. The next step, the best time is now.
Right.
Don't wait for this. Don't wait. Lean is one of the most powerful tools available to us to
Mm.
really optimize things. Correct? I've done agile, I've done lean, I've done Six Sigma, I've done theory of constraints. I am expertise in a lot of different areas. I am very passionate about lean because it is I call it the science of simplicity.
Right.
I don't call it lean. In my book, my chapter on lean is called the science of simplicity because it is a science. You have to, if you the complexity will always create chaos. Simplicity will create sophistication. These
Mm.
are the two sides of coins. Which one do you want? As soon as I walk through a factory and I see waste in energy, I see waste in human potential, I immediately know that this company is complicating things a little too much. They're
Mm.
not able to simplify. When you get to a simplification level, that is when you have won the battle of lean. That is why, but you don't want to simplify it too further. You don't want to dilute it,
Mm.
correct? So this is a science. It has to be adjusted so that you're at the right level for the most optimal efficiency, performance, and human potential. Okay?
Fantastic. No, 100%. Since you mentioned agile and other tools,
Yeah.
let me ask a question about that. There's an ongoing debate about the superiority of Lean Six Sigma compared to newer methodologies like Agile or DevOps. Where do you stand on that debate?
As I said, I'm fortunately, unfortunately, I've experienced and have led teams in each one of these. My thought is that they are complementary. It depends on where you are using it, correct?
Yeah.
Pure lean is great in the office, in the manufacturing area. I've applied it in many unique ways. So to me, lean can be applied, but agile has something which is for the software development industry because it is rapid turnaround. Doing a Kaizen every week can get very difficult if you're taking a large thing. So Agile has a really nice process to kind of get things in motion, the iterations, the way it is structured for Scrum and other things. It is it is good for that environment. Is it perfect? No. Agile DevOps is also about continuous delivery and really understanding the technology very well and delivering on a regular basis. I think the concepts are very solid. I really believe that there is a little bit pieces of lean when applied into agile can be very powerful. For example, I was leading two teams, Android and iOS teams, for agile in the app development for a huge bank.
Right.
When I am leading these teams, I'm noticing that there is so much waste out there, and agile does not really understand the concept of the 8 ways. So I created an actual model of how they can apply these 8 ways using lean principles, but applied to the agile process. And it really helps people to see, oh my God, look what I'm doing here. It's creating so much redundancy and so much waste. Once you start realizing it, it becomes a powerful tool. So each tool has a place for itself. They've created a niche where it is perfectly applied. But there is a lot of synergy which can be applied to these tools. And when using some of the tools, you can have a complementary effect, and that is going to increase the each and every tool when you start doing that. And as you know, I'll give you a good example is, I'm writing a book on Lean AI.
Yeah.
The power of Lean and the power of AI, when you combine that, it becomes a much more powerful tool, becomes a huge, win for all organizations and globally. This is the same thing as when you combine, these in the right way, you're going to get a really big, benefit for everyone. So.
Got it. No, I agree. That's pretty fantastic, and would actually love to dive deeper into the concept of applying waste reduction in software development. I've never heard
Right.
of that before.
Exactly. Nobody talks about it, and I'm like, my teams are just could be so much more efficient, and so that is why I did that. There are many other tools I have applied in Agile, which have not been applied in Agile so far. So someday I'll write a book on it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can write it together.
No, I think it's very much needed. I know that lean in general and agile and all those things came out of manufacturing or more
Absolutely.
industrial engineering and went into a lot of different fields, into
Yeah.
software, into even startups. There's this concept of lean startup that I'm sure you know about.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I know.
yeah,
I
so
know
in
very
industrial
well.
engineering, they kept innovating, coming up with more advanced ideas that I have a feeling that they have not made it back into or made their way into software or startups for that matter. And I think it's a
Yeah.
great topic to do more work on and think more
Yeah.
about, and talk more about.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, and I'll be glad to share, those concepts with you.
Yeah. So, Dr. Dalal, switching gears a bit, what are the most common forms of resistance that you've encountered when implementing lean strategies in organizations, and how do you recommend overcoming them?
Biggest obstacle is always going to be, leadership resistance, as Dr. Deming said in the 60s. Every problem kind of can be resolved at the leadership level. And I believe that to be true to some extent. I think leadership has a big, stake in everything, and they rightly have to decide on what needs to be done. And I think the resistance from leaders can be the biggest, right? They hold the funds, they hold everything, but at the same time, the resistance from the people can also be a pretty powerful and a debilitating to the culture of the organization. Whenever I go to an organization, I do a strategic value stream. I look at the areas and the pilot I select is always where the people are ready, not where they'll get the most bang for the buck. When the people are ready to change, that is a dramatic change. Lean is about people.
Yeah.
We are thinking about lean. Hey, these tools would be perfect. I'm going to get so much benefit out of it. Yes, but are the people ready to adopt that?
Yeah.
And to me, the key is when people have fear, when people have skepticism, we need to address that. We need to respect that. I was working in a company in Colorado where they were so stressed, Zeeshan, is they were working 70, 80 hours a week. They were designing a very, very advanced product. They had to design, manufacture. The manufacture was literally growing metal.
Mm.
It is a very delicate process. It can have so many issues there. And they had to then QC it and ship it sometimes within 1 day or 2 days.
Right.
So the pressure on this company was tremendous. When I went in, I said, hey guys, you need a work-life balance. I did a Kaizen event for them. There was so much resistance from the employees and skepticism of this. What I did was really got them together. We played games. We actually had balloons and everything where, just like kids will blow balloons, I had them blow that. I have a very powerful stress management software. We played games with that
Right.
just to get the level down.
Right.
Correct. Sometimes fear is based on their, kind of there is so much work. Where will they have time to do something like that? Also, what if things go worse than where they started? That is the skepticism. What I did was I created a simulation for them. I created on the fly using paper and simple tools I created where exact numbers which they had, how long it takes for each area to do the work. I simulated the entire factory and they could themselves see the results there.
Oh, wow.
And that convinced them that we should try it at least.
Mm.
And our results were, I mean, identical to the simulation.
Right.
They were totally amazed. They were leaving within 40, 50 hours every week after that.
Right.
So it was a tremendous success, but the resistance was not from the leaders in there, the resistance from the employees.
Right.
Correct? So we have to change the cultural inertia. When they saw those things in motion, they got a feeling, wow, we are successful. At least we can go spend some time with our family.
Yeah.
Correct. They were working even weekends.
Right.
So this changed the way they lived, basically. So I feel they actually presented this paper at an ASQ conference.
Right.
So it was very well received and they were very thankful for the results. But again, fear is always, false expectation appearing real. They
Right.
feel that things will go wrong. Correct.
Right.
So you have to address that. A good change agent has to address that.
Right. Right. Makes sense. And I love that example. I'm gonna ask you for that a link to that paper after the call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Uh, Dr. Dalal, this is something that you've talked about as well in the past. With the proliferation of virtual training and AI tools, and obviously you're writing a book about it. How do you see the role of technology evolving in the delivery of Lean and Six Sigma training specifically?
Okay.
So not so, yes, it can help in manufacturing, yes, it can help in offices and so on. But how does virtual training and AI tooling help in Lean and Six Sigma training themselves?
So, Zeeshan, I think you know that I do, I've trained over 9,000 people around the world. Uh, and training to me is a passion. I really enjoy the training. But training is evolving. People are, getting into a mode of more technological. Nobody wants to sit in a classroom for 5 days unless obviously the instructor is interactive, does some new stuff with them. And the new stuff I usually do, I'll give you examples of what I have done in my training, correct?
Mhm.
One of the things I do is gamification, correct? I myself have created a whole culture game called iCulture. I have
Right.
created a whole lean board game. I can take someone through an entire lean journey just by opening a box, showing them a complete game where they can play, even leaders can play this and see each iteration is an improvement. So you can do that. I've also created a training program using AR, VR technology.
Right.
So basically, I was working at one of the companies where people were leaving the company. It was a very stressful, the people were ready to retire, and the new people did not, the new generation doesn't want to work in manufacturing, especially when it is very, kind of a very traditional kind of job, and also sometimes risky in those areas. So what I did was I created a virtual reality training where they not only can get trained sitting in a classroom, uh, actual environment of where it was in a kind of a very much an oil and gas kind of environment, but I could also certify them. I created challenges for them where they could actually go in and complete the task and got them to the first level of certification. So
Right.
I've done, pieces of that. I've also done training for the maintenance people when I was teaching a class in the Middle East. I actually have a 3D printer at home, and using IoT, I actually on camera, I showed them that I turned on the 3D printer. I actually downloaded a part design. I printed it out on camera. So this is in the US. My machine is in the
Yeah.
US. They're in Middle
You're in
East.
the Middle East, yeah.
I could actually show them that, hey guys, oil and gas industry has a field operations. You need to make sure that in future you're ready to deliver the parts on demand in the field. So this training really opened their eyes to the future of manufacturing. So when you do those things, it just adds. And I've been very honored that I've won, 2 awards in training, as one of the training excellence awards. Uh, and I think everyone should start thinking differently about regular training. There are new techniques, there are new ways to implement training now, and Lean and Six Sigma is ready for that.
Got it. Uh, that great to hear about the evolution of Lean Six Sigma training, but how do you foresee the principles of Lean Six Sigma themselves evolving over the next decade, especially again with the rapid changes in global manufacturing strategies?
Yeah. Everything evolves, right? We ourselves evolve every time we are doing something new. And as we, link to the first question, what will happen to Lean? Lean has to evolve. Six Sigma has to evolve. The basic principles will be the same, but there is going to be a tremendous shift into AI. And that is why we are writing the, groundbreaking, me and my co-author, Beth, we are writing this Lean AI, and Zeeshan, we have invited you to also write a chapter on what you're doing with Retrocausal. We're very impressed with what you are doing, and I think it's a great foray into the future, right? This is Lean 5.0 technically. We are ushering in a new era of Lean and Six Sigma here, and the automation integration. So many unique technologies have come in the Industry 4.0. Just imagine it took a century to go from Industry 1.0 to 2.0, then 2.0 to 3.0. 4 was like kind of an exponential, correct? It was a perfect storm of all these different technologies coming together. The next evolution, 5, is a steep climb up. It's a steep climb up, Zeeshan. There is no way, and companies which are going to start adopting that and understanding, how to customize that for their areas and for their particular businesses are going to be successful. So, how do they sustain that? How do they use the data, which is really now the currency? The currency of the future is not money. Okay, money is obviously going to be, but what will create the money is going to be the data. So how will they use that data efficiently? How will they convert the data into information, information into knowledge, and knowledge into wisdom? That is the cycle every organization will have to follow. They will need to be agile. They need to be not from the agile in the terms of the agile technology. They'll need to be like the cheetah. They cannot be like the elephant. They have to, even an elephant will have to have elements of a cheetah in them where they can, kind of turn on a dime and really make things happen from a customer point of view, because competition is going to be fierce with all these new technologies. And uh, at times it will feel like you're standing on quicksand. So they'll need to learn how to balance on quicksand as we go forward, because the world is changing. There will be some stability, but we don't know where that stability will be, because if you understand what social media has done to us, put it as an exponential of 100 or 1,000 times. That's what AI will do to us.
Right.
AI is going to really change the game for us, and maybe in a positive way, maybe in a negative way. We don't know which way it will go.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Dr. Dalal, coming towards the end of the episode, there's one question that I always ask my guests, and that is, what is the one thing manufacturers don't do enough of to be factory forward in 2024? How would you answer that?
So I'll answer this in two ways. Okay. Companies which are digitizing their corporations are on the journey of digitization. That's perfect. That's the way they need to do. Problem is, they are digitizing waste most of the time. There is an underlying layer of waste in I have never found an organization, no matter how big it is, and sometimes the bigger, the more the waste. And I work with Fortune 50 companies, Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies. I've never found a company with no waste. So what they are doing is they are putting a layer of digitization, but a lot of it is digitizing waste.
Yeah.
So they're really not using the technology correctly. On the other side, there are companies which are avoiding digitization. They are so happy. They're making some money. They're very happy staying in the traditional manufacturing area. There, they do need to look ahead. They do need to look ahead. They cannot be focused only on the fundamental, because the world is changing. They are going to be left behind, whether they like it or not. Data utilization, digitization, agility, flexibility. If their people are not ready, they are not trained in that future, not only will they miss out on that, but they will also lose the people, because the new generation is pretty advanced. They, kind of, as soon as they are born, they are starting to use the iPads and the mobile phones.
Yeah.
So you cannot put them in a traditional environment. You're going to lose the people. You're going to lose your business. So on both sides, people who are on the digitization, they need to kind of understand that they need to look at the fundamentals first before they put that layer of digitization and AI on it, IoT on it. Those are really great tools. They need to adopt those. On the other side, people who are shy of that or don't want to embrace that, they'll be left behind. So both sides have to come to an agreement of where they want to be on the next path forward.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Dalal. It was incredibly helpful, and learning wise, I learned a bunch of stuff. It's over this short call. Looking forward to having you again on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Potentially dive deeper into some of the points that we discussed today.
Sure.
But in the meanwhile, thank you so much for taking out the time, and I'm sure our audience is also going to love this conversation.
Thank you, Zeeshan. Really appreciate it. And I'm also impressed with what you guys are doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that's a wrap on this powerhouse episode of Factory Forward. If you love this episode, share it with your network and keep the conversation going on social media using #FactoryForward. Until next time, keep challenging the status quo and striving for excellence. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Factory Forward.